Strats are squealy, strats are icy, strats are noisy. Well, in this video, I'm making some assumptions about how the guitar was designed to be used and talk about how it affects your tone. So just a brief overview of my Strat that I had before Tyler Larson is a hand-stained Honeyburst with Texas Special pickups. And for being Alnico 5s, they're still pretty icy, can be a little shrill, and can cause a lot of feedback in situations where humbuckers would be totally fine through. In fact, I played a show with this band from Silver Lake, and their guitar player had a couple of Les Pauls, which I love. And he just kind of asked me why I was playing a Strat like it was this burden that I was putting myself through, because they can be so hard to contain at times. But I knew that single coils to me were just more expressive, and there was a way to make it work. That leads to the 666 tone knob method, which is funny. So first of all, make sure your tone knobs are wired right. You want your tone knob wired to your bridge pickup. You want your second tone wired to your bridge pickup, and your other tone wired to your neck pickup. If you don't do anything else I'm talking about, just make sure you have that, because you can fatten up your bridge pickup tone. And if you lose a little bit of oomph, you can just go over to your amp. Just give your amp a little something, and the ice pickiness will go away. Just roll off that tone a little tiny bit, and you should be able to use your tone knob more in a pinch. Like if you need a little bit of boost, a little treble boost, you can get that Strat shrill sound that's not always pleasant. It's still right there with the flick of the wrist. Have the other tone connected to your neck pickup. That way you have a tone on both sides of the guitar, and you can still use a tone knob for each position of your hum canceling combination settings as well. Again, you have to check in with your amp. You should have a fatter sound if you have everything at 6, but you gotta check in with your amp and see just what you need to bring up. But it's gonna be subtle, and it's gonna even out, but you're gonna lose the ice pickiness and get some fatter sound, but you won't have muddiness if you're doing it right. With some experience, this is gonna be a much more smoother and subtle option than a boost pedal or a second gain stage when you want to bring more presence into the mix. So most Strats are already wired this way with a tone on the bridge and a tone on the neck, but just check. So turn all your knobs to 6 before sound check, or before you dial in your tone, your middle of the road, that crunch or whatever that you like. You'll get a two-way use of your master volume, so you can actually increase it when you need, and you'll fatten up your tone by rolling off your tone and tweaking your amp, and now you'll have a treble boost essentially on both lead pickups. So you can increase your volume on board, and you can increase your treble on board. On your neck pickup, you'll notice it like a mid boost that you'll have. You'll have a bit more sustain, but again, your amp has been dialed in to get the tone you like to start with at 6. So when you bring it up, you're getting something extra out of it. When high gain first started becoming popular, it became standard to have the guitar dimed at all times to get the most gain possible. This practice stuck around, but now we have more gain than we usually need built into most of what we play through already. So the practice of using these knobs can make a welcome return. You may disagree, but if you look at these classic vintage Fender amps built to be paired with these guitars, most people say they can be pretty trebly. They often need to be warmed up. But I'm suggesting they were designed to be used with these tone knobs on board being utilized in a two-way fashion, not dimed at all times, so you can bring your levels up and down. Take a look at the knobs. When the numbers 666 are facing the player, the words tone and volume on the top of the knob are in line with the floor, and are in line with the Fender logo on the headstock. It may sound silly, but I'll take that as a suggestion to the player to try dialing my amp with my guitar knobs like this. Summing it up, the 666 method reintroduces the use of a Strat's two-way knob potential and can fatten up your tone and free up some of the space on your board even. You might find this can replace some pedals that you thought you could never go without. Long as your amp is dialed in right, you'll notice what I mean. Try it out, especially directly into your amp. See if you can get a mid boost, a gain boost, a treble boost functionality out of the controls of your Strat. Does this technique replace any pedals you have? Some may disagree, but I encourage Strat players to try this, as this can add dynamics and range to your playing, allowing you to vary your light and shade much more than just using the blade switch. We've all heard players rock it all the way down to the bridge for a lead, and it just cuts into the mix way too gnarly. Or maybe I've just done it myself one too many times. Also, does your tone knob clean up a little better coming out of crunch at the lower end of your volume pot? Try it. Thanks.